is Gracie DuPont, and this is my project presentation for Project 1, Supply and Demand in Furniture. So just a little introduction of what is supply and demand. Supply is the amount of a product or service that producers are willing to sell at different price levels, and demand is the amount of a product or service that consumers are willing to purchase at different price levels. When it comes to demand, the law of demand is as the price increases, consumers buy less of a product, and as the price decreases, consumers buy more. Some factors that increase demand are higher consumer income, effective marketing, population growth, seasonal trends, product innovations. And an example of demand is if a furniture company releases a sofa that becomes popular on social media, demand increases because more customers want said product. When demand increases, things can happen like price increases, businesses earning higher profit, companies being able to hire more, production expanding, and inventory selling quicker. When it comes to the law of supply, as price increases, producers are willing to supply more because profit increases. As prices decrease, producers reduce production because profit declines. Some factors that affect supply are cost of raw material, labor cost, manufacturing costs, taxes, and the overall supply chain distribution. And an example of this is if the price of wood goes up, furniture manufacturers may produce less wood pieces due to the increase in production costs. When supply increases, some things that can happen are prices typically decreasing, consumers having more options, businesses having more competition, and companies offering more discounts. And this is just a little chart about some determinants of demand and supply with things like income, goods, consumer number buyers, things like that. As well as a chart kind of explaining the overall market equilibrium, talking about when quantity is demanded and it equals the quantity supplied, and just kind of showing that that is the equilibrium price. Now, talking about a few other things. Shortages are when demand is greater than supply, and some causes of this could be natural disasters, material shortages, higher consumer demand, shipping delays, and factory closures. Business effects to this could be lost sales, longer wait times, higher prices, and inventory depletion. And an example of this is during COVID-19, materials like wood were in a shortage, kind of causing the furniture delivery delays in the industry, but prices were increasing on products. Surplus is when supply is greater than demand, and some causes of this could be overproduction, declining consumer interest, economic recession, and seasonal demand is just kind of ending. Some business effects from this could be excess inventory, price reduction, sale promotions, and storage cost. And an example of this is if a retailer orders too much of a product for the holidays, and it doesn't necessarily sell after the holiday, demand for it drops, they're left with those items that now have to be discounted. And lastly, price elasticity measures how sensitive consumers are to price changes. Some elastic demands, consumers reduce purchases if prices increase, like trending items or luxury items. And inelastic demands are consumers continue purchasing despite price increases. Basically, necessary goods like electricity, medication, groceries, things like that. Going into the concept of how businesses use supply and demand, it measures how sensitive consumers are to price changes. So, production is things like setting prices, offering discounts, adjusting prices. Production, so determining amounts to manufacture, avoiding overproductions of items, and planning inventory. And inventory management, things like determining material amount, forecasting consumer demand, and preventing shortages. And then marketing, demand through advertising and launching promotions during slow sale period times. And hiring, so increasing labor during busy seasons and reducing production during slower seasons. Some factors that could shift when it comes to supply are material cost, labor, anything due to new and up and coming technology, government issues, taxes, tariffs, transportation cost, as well as weather. And in demand, things like consumer income, trends, advertising, population growth, and holiday season changes. Next is how supply and demand applies itself to the furniture and design industry. So, picture this: a furniture company releases a new modular furniture. The demand increases because interior designers promote it, consumers prefer modular furniture, and home renovation tends to grow. Supply challenges are things like material shortages, lumber price increases, shipping delays, and limited manufacturing capacity. So, a business response to this problem would be to raise prices to reflect higher demand, increase production if possible, source material from additional suppliers, expand manufacturing capacity, and prioritize the high demand of a product. Some other examples in the furniture industry of some supply and demand problems were boucle furniture trends. So this material became highly popular due to interior designers and influencers using this material. Consumer demand increased rapidly, and manufacturers expand production of pieces with boucle, and supply has increased and prices have become more competitive. Another example is COVID lumber shortages. So, demand for furniture increased as people were at home, and lumber shortages reduced the supply of wood furniture. So, production slowed while demand was still staying high, and so prices increased, and customers were experiencing long delivery times. Lastly, sustainable furniture. So, consumers started to prefer eco friendly products, and furniture companies started to use recycled materials. Demand for sustainable furniture continues to shape a product development and its decisions. So, an overall conclusion of why supply and demand matter helps businesses do things like predict customer behavior, set profitable prices, manage inventory, respond to changing conditions, improve production planning, increase profit while minimizing waste. Supply and demand overall is the foundation of economics, I believe. Businesses that are able to understand these principles of supply and demand can better anticipate changes that may happen, changes in behavior, market conditions, and making smart decisions will help improve efficiency and profit overall. And why supply and demand matter in the furniture industry, in my opinion, is understanding these concepts can help companies predict customer buying behavior, develop products that could align with trends, plan productions, manage inventory, sourcing materials, and overall just improve customer satisfaction. And these principles are fundamental, in my opinion, to almost every decision that's being made in the furniture and interior design industry, with things like concept development and material selection, pricing, etc. supply and demand are a huge factor. And these are my references that I used. Thank you so much.